Are we live? Welcome to another rendition of Too Early for This Podcast, episode 40. It's your host and moderator. I'm Krista Don One, the host with the most. I do not brag or boast, and I'm coming to you guys live from coast to coast. How y'all living? I'm living swell. Episode 40. Feel free, be sure to hit the subscription button, the notification bell. Select all, by the way, and share this lovely content with your friends, family, and followers. Let's get this channel, this video, this podcast in the YouTube algorithm by doing all of those features that I request of my viewership to do. If you want to support the channel even further, hit the join button. Remember, membership has its privileges. All right, you hear me? Also, comment in the comment section, okay? I need you guys to get active in the comment section. The comment section is your guys' domain. That's where you tell me if I'm right, tell me if I'm wrong. Comment among yourselves. All right, let's get that comment section active. Also, be on the lookout for my favorite 3 channels. Just me, Nicole. She does a beauty and vlog. I highly recommend you guys to go subscribe and support my gal. Also, Makeup University. I've been a huge supporter of Makeup University since day one of her channel. So give her some love and support however you want to do it. And The Dream. Check out The Dream. I binge watched every video of the Dream's channel. There was a couple of weeks where I was MIA, but nevertheless, I'm the best. And The Dream has done some great work with her vlogs, her videos. She went to a couple of car shows, and I highly suggest good entertainment, good information. Go check out all 3 of these content creators. They're small channels, just like I'm a small channel. You have to support your small channels, folks. It's very important, because without the small channels, you guys wouldn't be going to YouTube each and every day, because the bigger channels, they don't, create content on a day in, day out basis. Also, now, if you haven't already, please subscribe to The Lead Attorney. The Lead Attorney is kicking tail and asking questions later. If you've checked out The Lead Attorney on Vlad TV, I highly suggest you guys go to Vlad TV, check out that interview. He was dropping jewels left to right about the current news, particularly in hip hop culture. The Young Thug trial, he talked about that, and the possibilities of a lot of things I didn't even recognize about that. He also talked about some other things as well. So go check out Vlad TV, and also go check out The Lead Attorney. Those are the big YouTube channels, okay? And check out that Lead Attorney interview and subscribe to the Lead Attorney's YouTube channel. I mean, this guy is great in the YouTube community. So without further ado, let's get into today's topic. I first like to say, first and foremost, we might have to, it comes to an end of an era, folks. Possibly this could be the end of an era that started for only 2 live streams. I was trying to do 2 hours worth of content. I only got 2 topics to talk about because I pretty much blew my load. Pause. I did 2 videos earlier this week. One was about Fit Miami. She's the baby mama of Freddie Gibbs. I did that video. And I also did the video on Chris Brown and Usher. I did that video as well. So I kind of blew my load on content. Pause once again on content that I was going to talk about today. But it was really a slow news day. Only got 2 topics to talk about. The first, I was going to talk about Eboni Kay Williams and her situation about the bus driver comment. I was going to talk about that first and then talk about Jamie Foxx. But let's just go ahead talk about. We're gonna flip. We're gonna flip them. We're gonna flip them on their heads, and we're gonna talk about Jamie Foxx because it's really not too much to talk about. So, um, as you guys are well aware and well informed, on social media was blasting about Jamie Foxx. And there were some insiders in the Jamie Foxx family. I don't know, family members that saying that they were preparing for the worst about Jamie Foxx. Now, if you've been living under a rock, allow your boy to explain. Jamie Foxx, a couple of weeks ago, went to the hospital. And still to this day, no one really knows why he went to the hospital. Some are expecting, allegedly. Some are saying that he had a stroke. Some were also saying allegedly, was some type of drug that he was dealing with. People were saying a lot of crazy things. But I remember talking about it on Too Early for This podcast. I think it was 2 shows ago, maybe 3 shows ago, and I talked about it briefly. That all I talked about was he was in the hospital and we should pray for him and pray for a speedy recovery. And I thought everything was all good in the hood, particularly with Jamie Foxx. But some more news came out earlier this week talking about the family members of the Foxx family was preparing for the worst, and this blew up everywhere on social media. And they had people making videos and had content creators speculating on we may have seen the last of Jamie Foxx. And I'm going like, yo, where is all of this coming from? A couple of weeks ago, we talked about him going to the hospital, but I thought he was already out in the hospital. I thought he was living his best life. Everything's all cool. Okay. So, now came word earlier this week that they were preparing for the worst and he was still in the hospital and people were waiting on pins and needles. I mean, the Breakfast Club talked about this. Entertainment Tonight talked about this. It was not just the bloggers out there on social media. The mainstream media was talking about this. Okay, so the big heavy hitters were commenting about this medical update concerning Jamie Foxx, and it was riding this news as well as social media. Now, Jamie Foxx's daughter talked yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, and she said, we don't know where all this stuff is coming from. This was fake news from fake media. A lot of content creators are embellishing the truth. She also talked about how Jamie Foxx has been out of the hospital weeks ago and doing fine. She even talked about Jamie Foxx playing a pickup basketball game at his home, and they do not know where all of this is coming from. Excuse me. Of course, Jamie Foxx's daughter issued a statement saying that, issued that statement, but I feel like there's somebody in their family that is, you know, throwing this stuff out there, knowing that social media is going to attach themselves to it, knowing that people are going to blow it way over out of proportion. And then it gets its way to the mainstream media. The Breakfast Club talked about it. Like I said, Entertainment Tonight, BET, everybody was talking about this. This was not an isolated incident. And but like the daughter said, like Jamie Foxx's daughter said, that they don't know where all this is coming from. I feel like this is I'm not going to, at any time a representative from the Fox family or family members or his agent, the PR firm, whatever, if even if Fox didn't want to address it, somebody on the lower tier should have already addressed this and put this fire out, because it just started as a plain small fire, and then now it done turned into a dumpster fire where people are, still talking about it. All right. Now you got all of these aluminum foil tin hat people, particularly on social media, speculating, saying that it, running their own narratives, their own personal narratives, talking about, well, something really happened in that family, but luckily with prayer and modern day medicine, they came out from under that situation. And now they're trying to make it sound like we're paranoid, we're crazy, we're the ones that were spreading all of these lies and fake news and things of that nature. So, um, I a story that I felt like weeks ago was really about nothing. I mean, well, concerning, Jamie Foxx's health, I feel like that's a huge something. But news wise, other than Jamie Foxx going to the hospital, and no one knew why he went to the hospital. No one knew if he went to the emergency room or whatever. Could have went for a visit. Could have went for a checkup. Excuse me, not a visit, but a checkup. And they found some things, and they wanted him to stay over for the night. No biggie, but still to this day, no one really knows why he went to the hospital in the first place and what happened, what led to him going to the hospital. Okay. So take for whatever you want to take from this story. I take from it as, Jamie Foxx is doing good. He's healthy. And we're not going to lose him. I mean, Jamie Foxx is a young actor slash comedian slash singer, just an entertainer, a jack of all trades and a master of all. Okay, I know that cliche is a jack of all trades and a master of none, but Jamie Foxx has an imprint in the entertainment world. Okay, so we're going to see a lot of great things coming from Jamie Foxx. And Jesus is not knocking on his door to welcome him to heaven, not right now. And it sounds like Jamie Foxx is doing great, particularly what you got from Jamie Foxx's daughter. And life is good. All right. So take whatever you want to take from this story. I take from this story as, we're going to see more from Jamie Foxx. So if you love Jamie Foxx, and I love Jamie Foxx, a lot of his work, really followed him even before In Living Color. That's where he made his debut. And I saw the rise in Jamie Foxx, and I'm just happy that Jamie Foxx is alive, well, and we're not going to lose him. So that's pretty much it on this story. I thought this story was pretty much it on this story weeks ago, and but at least we know for a fact that he's healthy and he's alive, and everything is good. That's all you can take from this story. Did it went off the rails? Yeah, it did go off the rails, but it is what it is. You know how crazy news cycles are and social media is. Okay, sometimes it just goes left. All right, but shout out to Jamie Foxx, his family, and yeah, that's it. So we're gonna move on from that story, and we're going to be talking about momentarily the uh, uh, Ebony K. Williams comments about um the bus driver comment. Now, if you've been living on a rock, I allow your boy to explain. I'm going to explain this real fast, real quick. A couple of weeks ago, she was doing an interview, and the lady asked her a loaded question. I felt like it was a loaded question. Look, I look at it like this. When someone asks you a loaded question, there's really no right or wrong answer. Now, you can give the PR version, the trying to make everyone happy, but at the same time, when you're doing that, there's going to be a sector of people that's going to say that you was not genuine about the question. You didn't answer the question and gave credence to the question. So you're going to have that community that's going to be on your tail about that. and you're still probably going to tick off whoever the question was intended for. But the lady said, basically in a question, asked Ebony, would you prefer dating a bus driver or the bus owner? And without, I mean, and before the lady could finish her question, Ebony K. Williams immediately said, I want to date the bus owner, the guy who owns the bus station, owns the corporation. All right. I'm alluding, like I said, it's a loaded question. She wants to date and marry the owner, and instead of the person who's working for the owner. And if we want to break it all down to the finest, okay. And a lot of people went at Ebony K. Williams' head, okay. And yeah, I think a lot of it had to do with people blowing this thing way too much out of proportion. And first and foremost, you know, she was only talking about dating. I don't think she was talking about being in love or being in a long-term relationship or anything like that. It was the perspective of dating. And I think the majority of women would prefer, would answer that question if they was real honest with themselves, would answer that question simple. They would rather date the guy who owns the bus, uh, franchise, instead of the bus driver. All right. More than not, a lot of women would go to that direction. And it's no different than men. Okay. Like if a man was asked, would you rather date a fit woman with a slim waist and a kadonkadonk and some breastises, or would you rather date a heavy set? And before the interviewer can finish the question, immediately the guy says, "No, I want to date the fit woman with the small waist and the breastises and the kadonkadonk in the back. Okay, the BBL, whatever. Natural will be his preference, but the majority of women would, I mean, the majority of men would point to that direction. And once again, I state this, and I said this earlier, that was a loaded question. That was a setup question. And I don't know if this lady who was interviewing Ebony K. Williams, I don't know if she had any dealings with her or some hostility towards her, but I felt like that was a question that was too loaded. And if you was concerned about this lady, you wouldn't even ask her this question, because there's really no wrong or right answers. Even if you try to stay neutral, people will still be offended by your neutral opinion. And a lot of people on social media was at Ebony K. Williams' head. This made it all the way to the Breakfast Club. A lot of outlets were talking about this interview, and people start, and even YouTube content creators, bloggers, everyone on social media was in the mindset of just destroying Ebony K. Williams. And then her personal life came out and about, that she's married to a white man, and maybe that's the reason why she wants to date the guy who owns the bus corp franchise instead of the bus driver. And then people were saying that she don't like black men, and then people were talking about her being a plus size, a BBW. I mean, just attacking. I mean, just bringing everything to the forefront and attacking all of, just attacking Ebony K. Williams personally. And it makes you wonder the attentions of a lot of people who make this content. Well, maybe they didn't like her in the first place, and they always wanted to say this about her, but they just didn't have the opportunity to say this about her. And she comes across as a gold digger and this, that, and the third. I don't know Ebony K. Williams personally. Never met her, never talked to her, never had any type of interaction with her. But you know, only thing I know about her is, she's been on several podcasts. She's been on a couple of news outlets and things of that nature. And from the outside looking in, she does look like a woman that she does look like a privileged woman, a woman that's not going to give the time of day to an average guy. And you have to fit her criteria for you even to talk to her. She feels like one of those types of women, and we all know those types of women. um but we don't bash those women because we're staying true to ourselves. Okay, there are certain level of women that you know for a fact you should dare not approach, as far as dating and things of that nature. Okay, you know you should check yourself before you wreck yourself. Okay, and we all know that, right? But I felt like this thing was blown way out of proportion, and attacking her personally, attacking who she prefers dating and things of that nature, and attacking her weight, talking about, well, why she's have these preferences when have she looked at herself in a mirror? She shouldn't even have these preferences. Okay, and I want to say, and I just wanted to throw that stuff out before I give you my opinion. And I still feel like it's a loaded question, by the way. It was a setup question. And I want to say, um, most people would prefer the obvious than most people would answer and give you the obvious answer than the least likely answer. Okay, if everybody likes to ride the winning team. Everyone wants to be on the winning team. And I'm gonna be honest with you, uh like I said earlier, most men would have their ideal of a woman, and their ideal of a woman doesn't fit what the average woman looks like in reality. Okay, and the same thing goes for women. Women have an in their mind, they're thinking this man should be this, that, whatever. That's their perfect man, and that perfect man don't fit the criteria of an average man. And like I said, women know their limits. They know the limitations. They know who to approach, who not to approach, and men do the same thing. But we all have standards. We all try to seek those standards, and when you know, and when met to the opportunity to get these standards, um, hold up, we up late. Oh, thank you, Ryan. I ain't seen Ryan in a minute. Okay, now, Big Ryan, I always try to do these things early in the morning. Now I did shift from Monday morning to Saturday, so I really do appreciate you coming in, checking out, doing a welfare check on your boy. I'm glad that you're here. Appreciate it, Ryan. I really do appreciate it. I haven't uh, gotten a message from you in a min, but I'm glad you're here. All right. So, same time. I mean, same time but different day, pretty much. Um, but yeah. Uh, Back to Ebony K. Williams. I do feel like a lot of women. I mean, I do feel like there was a lot of people out there that was on her head and was, making her like the devil. And see, I have to get it. Okay, hold up. I have to get it to men. Y'all have true confidence. Most men, just like most women. Okay, I don't think all men have a lot of confidence, and I don't feel all women are gold diggers. Okay, but I do feel like as men or women, we have this ideal of a man or a woman, and we have this checklist that they must pass. But I do feel like men and women, I don't want to say average. I want to just say men and women, when they approach someone, and maybe that someone don't fit all the boxes. Okay, a man and a woman, man or a woman, would say to themselves, if this, okay, this person don't fit all the check marks, but do they fit the check marks that are important for them? In other words, I feel like men and women, they have this idealism of their perfect mate, but if they don't check all the boxes, do they check the important boxes? Then they start, breaking it down, and then they reach their conclusion: is this the one for them? Okay. I should say, okay. Um, okay, I can agree with that. But I do feel like, you know, uh, a man or a woman, their perfect mate, and they don't fit those boxes, they start to say, okay, well, they may not fit in this area, they may not fit in that area, but they do fit in other areas, and then they determine whether or not this is the right one for them. And I feel like men do this as well as women do this. And this is not exclusively for stuck up women. This is not exclusively for gold diggers. This is not exclusively for, men with high standards, high value men. I feel like this same rule applies to all men and women. All right. So, I think this Ebony K. Williams story just put a mirror in front of us that some of us out there, really the important thing, it's not even important that if you love this person, or it's not even important that you see this person, you want to be with this person for the next 20, 30, 40 years of your life or the rest of your life. The most important thing to a lot of us is, does this person have value? Does this person add value to their lifestyle? Is this person wealthy or has enough resources to sustain your lifestyle? Okay. Is this person going to open more doors by you dating this person or being in a long-term serious relationship with this person? I think the finances are more important than just, do you love this person? Do you have an emotional investment in this person? I'm going to read your comment a little bit later. I think, 30 or 40 years ago, it was, you know, you want to make sure you want to be emotionally tied to the right person. Nowadays, it done flipped. Now it's about, can this person take care of you? Does this person do you, can you still keep the same lifestyle that you kept when you were single? Now you're tied down to this person. It's more about finances than emotion nowadays. Okay. That's first and foremost. And then, even if you don't love that person, you will put up with that person because that person can keep you in the same lifestyle or even upgrade you to a better lifestyle. Okay. So that's why and we're going to talk about this story about Kim Zoriak from Real Housewives of Atlanta, and her situation. That's why you see divorces on an all-time high. That's why men are dwelling whether or not to even marry a woman. Okay, now you bring these questions up. Is it even worth marrying a woman? All right, Tyrese, we talked about him last week, about his child support, and even so you got a vast number of questions saying, is marriage even an option anymore? Okay, is it even valid anymore? Okay, so let me read your question real quick. I trust you cut hold up. Holds up. All right. Let me okay, let's put that in on the screen. Uh I trust you because you're a man. I can't speak for men. I appreciate you saying this. Oh, okay. Thanks. Thanks. Okay, I appreciate that. Okay. So, but I feel like we're all we all have a little of Ebony K. Williams in all of us, men and women. Okay. Uh it's just when we speak our truth, we don't want to speak our truth to a lot of people out there because we don't want to be judged as, oh, you're just a narrow-minded individual. Uh, you don't, you're not really looking for love. You're not looking for a soulmate. You're just looking for somebody to, sponsor your lifestyle. Okay, people just don't want to be judged. I think all of us have a little of Ebony K. Williams in all of us, but I feel like all of us can consolidate and also say to ourselves of everything on that checklist, what's important, okay, and what's not important. And sometimes the majority of us will say, okay, yeah, all of this stuff is important, but do I love this individual? Do I see myself with this individual for the rest of my life? I think some of us would rather prefer to be in love, to be in a relationship with somebody that you actually love and respect. Now, I do feel like there are some people out there that would uh, put love and respect to the side and say, okay, well, if we're in a relationship, can he take care of me? Can he keep me in the same lifestyle? And do we upgrade our lifestyle? I think some people prefer finances over feelings. All right. And that's why, you got divorces, and that's why, you got people, the value of marrying somebody is not important, particularly if you are a high value man or if you're a high value woman. Okay. Do you think we don't know what okay, hold up. Let me read this. Do you think we don't know what we want? Uh, that's a loaded question. You're gonna get me caught up in here like Ebony K. Williams. That's a loaded question. Okay. I feel like at first, men and women, when they are in starting a relationship with somebody, I do feel like we don't know what we really looking for, and that's why we gravitate to our checklist and those checks and balances. The person that we're dating, do they fit those checks and balances? And then we'll just come to the end of the road and say, okay, is this person worth spending the rest of our lives on with? Okay. And that's when you make the choice whether or not you want to continue this relationship seriously or you just move on to the next person. I really do feel like we as society, men and women, I do feel like we heavily gravitate to the checklist, and we just don't, really have enough time to really get to know this person. We just start looking at our checklist, and then we just come to the conclusion real fast and real quick: is this person worthy or not? And that's why you got so many people dating. All right, and that's why marriage, the divorce is going up and up and up. Okay, hold on, let me we are going off other standards. I think low key, uh we all have standards. But I do feel like people people will put their standards over their feelings. But I do feel like there's a lot of people out there that really wants to be involved with somebody that they truly respect and truly love. And I'm sorry, those stories don't make the front page. Those stories pretty much make the back page. And we gravitate to the stories that that we're going to talk about, oh, this, they got married, they're living their best life, they done bought this house, they got X amount of cars, they got X amount of businesses. We just focus on the materialistic things than the relationship itself. Okay, and it's topsy-turvy, particularly in relationships. uh what's the cash app? You're speaking truth. My Cash App is Cash App. I'm Krista Dom one. Um, I thought I had it on the cash. I thought I had it in my little thing, but never mind. Nevertheless, but if you want to donate, I really do appreciate that. Um, if you have donated, unfortunately, I don't know if you did donate, but I really do appreciate any type of donations. And I'll be honest with you, I'm just speaking what I know. Okay, I'm not trying to, support one side or the other. But to the Ebony K issue, I felt like the interviewer gave her a loaded question, and we all have a little Ebony K in us, like it or not, love it or hate it. And it is what it is. But to go into to just to go at her and to say uh the reason why she thinks this way because she's married to a white guy, or she shouldn't even have a preference because she's a BBW. When you start attacking someone personally because you don't like what they're saying, I mean, that's an all-time low in my opinion. Everyone's entitled to their opinions, no matter how ridiculous we think they are or how genuine we think they are. I think everyone's entitled to their opinions, but I felt like this was an overblown story, a topic, and we all have a little Ebony K. Williams in a lot of us. We do. Some of us do have checklist. Okay. Um, some of us do have checklists. It's just, do we modify our checklist for someone that we appreciate, that we love, that we respect? Yeah, we modify that checklist. That checklist isn't important if we love that person, if we respect that person. Okay. But I do feel like there's a lot of people out there that don't even care about the person that they're in a relationship with. They don't care if they love them, respect them, or whatnot. They just know that that person can keep them. It's more financial about them. It's more about clout and popularity and things of that nature. Okay, so that's my opinion on the Ebony K situation. I think that was blown way out of proportion. Guys, I really do appreciate you when you come in, hit the like button, comment in the comment section, get the comment section active, and support this channel as well as this live stream with your friends, family, as well as your followers. But we're gonna move on from the Ebony K topic. Like I said, I only had two topics, and I just completed both of those topics in less than 40 minutes. I'm gonna try to stay in here as long as possible, but I think the 2 hour live stream we done I think this live stream is not going to be 2 hours. Okay, so I do have other topics on the show, and like I said, I blew my load. Pause. I was going to talk about Chris Brown and Usher. I was going to do that on today's show, but I decided to make a video on it. And then the Freddie Gibbs situation with his baby mama, I thought I was going to talk about it on today's show, but I did a video on that as well. And I sort of blew my load, pause, on those two stories, those two topics. So we're going to be moving on from another relationship situation with the Ebony K thing, and now we're going to move forward to Kim. I think her name is Kim. I always have a hard time saying her last name. I think is Kim Zorion, whatever her last name is. She was the lady who was on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. She also came out with a music video and a song about partying. Don't be tardy for the party. She even had her own reality series on Bravo. She's also in social media, and she would always you know flex her social media muscle, talking about the things they done bought and showing off the house. And they had modified this house, and a beautiful house in Atlanta, by the way. And she still lives there. Well, there was a story, and I remember talking about this on Too Early for This podcast. I think it was a couple of shows ago, and I talked about how they are. I will be honest with you, and a lot of people don't want to face facts or face reality. This COVID situation, and I told people this COVID situation, once we get out from under this COVID situation, it's going to have mad after effects because of y'all got to realize it was like a year, maybe 2 years of businesses shutting down because of COVID. And I explained to you guys how these businesses are going to struggle. They're going to have long-term effects. And I felt like, the entertainment world was going to be was going to feel the aftershocks of this COVID thing, and it's going to be hard for a lot of these shows and companies keep trying to keep their heads above water. And I felt like reality TV suffered a lot because you couldn't create shows because of the COVID situation. And a lot of these reality TV stars, if you want to call them stars, okay, that's neither here nor there, but if you want to call them stars, they're stars. A lot of these reality TV stars, uh, they get their bread not only from the episodes or appearing in the episodes, but they get their money by club appearances or just appearances in general. And some of these reality stars have OnlyFans. Some of them, not all of them, and but they get the most of their income with club appearances. And when COVID happened, a lot of clubs, a lot of nightclubs, a lot of restaurants had to shut down for like a year, 2 years. And when they got back, when they lifted those laws or those requests for them to shut down, a lot of those restaurants, a lot of those nightclubs didn't pop back up. Okay. A lot of them closed when they had to shut their doors. Okay. And a lot of these reality stars make their appearances on club openings or just club appearances or restaurants or book, going to the bookstore, things of that nature. And I told you guys that this COVID thing, once we get out and under this COVID situation, it was going to have long-term effects in the entertainment world. And you see it most recently in food, in restaurants. A lot of restaurants are closing left to right, because they just couldn't handle being out of business for like a year or 2 years. So back to Kim's Azori, and I think I'm butchering her last name, but you guys know I butcher people's names on a constant, consistent basis. So why stop now? All right. Well, anyway, now they can't no longer afford their lifestyle. And a couple of shows ago, we talked about how they was in the process of losing their house, and because they couldn't support their lifestyle. All right. Now they did it at the last minute savage their house. But as far as their relationship goes, now Kim is filing for divorce. She's divorcing her husband, who was an NFL player back in the day. He used to play for the Atlanta Falcons. And now they're divorcing, on the heels of finding out that they can't support their lifestyle, and they lost their house. And Kim decided to divorce him. And not only that, take sole custody of the children, and basically saying that this relationship is unsalvageable. They've been having issues, but you can clearly tell that the issues are financial. Okay. And he just can no longer support the lifestyle. And I feel like Kim is doing this on two folds. All right. She and we all do this on a certain extent, and not to Kim's level. Okay, we're not going to abandon nobody because we can't maintain our lifestyle. But when the rubber meets the road, we have to say to ourselves, look, do you want to leave this bad situation 6 months sooner or wait 6 months later? Okay, and that's what Kim is saying, subconsciously or consciously or whatever. She's saying to herself, look, we done lost the house. We can't support our lifestyle. I'm not generating a lot of income. He's not generating a lot of income. We're pretty much going to be bums out here. So I'd rather cut my losses now and upgrade to another sugar daddy or another husband that can maintain her lifestyle or even upgrade her to a better lifestyle. And there's some women out there that are cold and calculated that just thinks about the money, that thinks about their lifestyle. Their lifestyle is more important to them than their actual husbands. So then it comes to, well, was this relationship founded on love and respect and supporting each other through the good times and the bad times? No, this relationship was solely built on the fact that he was able to give her a lifestyle and to support the lifestyle that she wants to have. Kim feels like that she's still that big time star on the Housewives of Atlanta. Now she's been off that show, and I think her show has been canceled from Bravo. And I think it was canceled during the COVID thing, when the COVID situation, when a lot of production work, when, a lot of these reality shows had to put a pause on their shows because of the COVID nightmare and the guidelines and things of that nature. Okay. So, I mean, it's not like she was so talented where she can just say, oh, well, it's no big deal. No big deal. I'll just create music or I'll just create content for myself. I'm a content creator, or I can just go on my podcast. I'll just get my podcast booming. Kim doesn't do none of those things. Okay. Pretty much the basis of how she generates income is through her reality show as well as social media. Now she endorses and promotes products and things of that nature, just like all of these reality TV stars. Okay. Um, and that's pretty much it. Okay. As far as her husband goes, I mean, it's not like he's in broadcasting. If he is, it's on a limited form, and it's not like he's working at ESPN or Fox Sports One. He's not doing none of that stuff. All right. So uh, I, I felt like Kim reached a conclusion that, look, I'd rather leave this situation 6 months early than 6 months late. And a lot of women, and a lot of, not just women, but men in general, men and women, uh, to put this in a perspective of a man will leave a woman if she doesn't take care of herself, if she doesn't maintain her figure, if she doesn't maintain a certain standard. Men, high value men or men in general, will leave that situation. They'll be just like Kim. They'll say, look, should I leave 6 months early or should I leave 6 months late? Okay. And a lot of men are in that perspective, just like a lot of women are in that perspective. Okay. And I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I do, in their situation, I don't know if it's right or wrong because I don't know how their relationship started and formed in the first place. I do remember her talking about him in a couple of episodes, but she would only talk about him about what he bought her or what he did for her, not about how she felt about him or how much she loved him. She never talked about how she totally loved him. You know, she only talked about him in the sense of what he done bought her, or what type of status he done put her in. All right. And now, since he can't provide that, or no longer can do that, because they were, mortgaging their house, and they were just getting loans for the house to upgrade the house. All right. But due to COVID, a lot of people are losing a lot of their homes because they can't pay those bills. Okay. Yeah, you can, squeeze interest out of your house to get money. You can get money from your house, but it only makes your mortgage payments even more. And they're at a conclusion where they can't afford it. And I felt like COVID put a suspension and a halt on a lot of people making a lot of money out here. And now, since COVID is over with, this is the residuals of the COVID nightmare. A lot of people are not making it. They're not doing well. You got a lot of celebrities, and it's not just Kim. There's a lot of celebrities out there, male and female, that had to readjust how they do. Okay. So she's no different than anyone else out here. And hey, she's trying to make ends meet, but it's kind of hard to make ends meet when you're more concerned about clout on social media and Bentleys and things like that. Sometimes you have to downsize your situation, because you're not making the money that you once made 6 years ago. You're not making that money no more. Okay. Now, yeah, the restaurants are open, the nightclubs are open, all the nightlife is back open again. But there's a lot of clubs, there's a lot of businesses and there's a lot of restaurants that are just closed permanently because of the rigors of the COVID thing and the guidelines. They just stayed closed. Okay. So there's a lot of outlets out there that you was heavily depending on to make money. Now those outlets are no longer there, and now it's you're struggling. So she just came to the conclusion that I'd rather just get out of this relationship right now, because this relationship wasn't important. She didn't have any emotional ties to this relationship. This was more of convenience and money and status. And since I'm not getting no status from you, and now your money is pretty much is dried up, then it's time to bail out and move on to the next one. I do think they have 4 kids. I'm be honest with you, I don't look at Kim that, I mean, I'm not saying that she's a bad looker, but she's got some heavy competition, because any guy with any type of status or any high value, they're going to lean towards the younger women that have no kids. So that's another problem. I don't think she's well aware of that. Like I tell you guys, every summer introduce another baddie, another young big booty chick that a lot of men are going to munch on or sweat on. And I just think that her being singled and trying to reinvent herself and trying to find her another sugar daddy, or a guy with high value, is highly likely for her to do that. Okay. And she's among a lot of women in the same situation with her, uh that are older, and like Kim Kardashian. Like you just we just there was a Kim Kardashian sighting at the Laker game. And people were trying to put two and two together. Is Kim Kardashian trying to go after LeBron James? Because Kim Kardashian is not a sports fan. Okay, so obviously she's there for someone else to and maybe she's out hunting and out prowling for the next guy that. But Kim Kardashian has money. Okay. And I don't think Kim Zorfron or Kim Zorag, wherever her last name is, I do apologize once again. You guys know I butcher names on a constant, consistent basis, okay? But I think it's going to be very, very, very hard for her to find that high value man that's going to keep her in that type of lifestyle. Like I said, every summer introduce another big booty younger chick, all right, with no kids, okay, that's got a firmer waist and like some donks and some knockers, some headlights and things of that nature. And I'm just being honest with you, those high value men, no matter how young or how old they are, they're going to gravitate to the younger woman than an older middle-aged woman with 3 to 4 kids. Okay. I'm not saying Kim is not a looker. I'm just saying that the competition is steep. But shout out to her. She can do whatever she wants to do. And it is what it is. Okay. So moving forward from that, I got some little topics here and there. Now last week I told you guys that Kevin Durant got a skin coming out from Call of Duty. It was introduced, I think, a couple of days ago. So everyone is rushing to play Call of Duty, so they'll be able to play as Kevin Durant. At least the Call of Duty skin is getting more action in the Call of Duty realm than the actual Kevin Durant, because they got eliminated by the Denver Nuggets. So Kevin Durant's quest of getting a ring and to add to his legacy is at a stop. And a lot of people are calling Kevin Durant a fraud. And he's not the bus driver, he's the bus rider. Now, isn't that how we start in a podcast, a live stream? We just talked about Ebony K. Williams saying that she rather prefer dating the bus owner than the bus driver. And now we're concluding this with Kevin Durant's skin in Call of Duty and what the comments Charles Barkley said about Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is not a bus driver, he's a bus rider. Okay. So you got that. We talked about that last week. Prez from the Fuji fame it looked like he's going to the big house. He's going to spend now there's some people that speculate that he's going to spend 20 years in federal prison because of money laundering or some money issues, dealing with some real bad guys. Anyway, he's going to be and the thing about it is Perez and his attorneys reached a deal with the federal government where he was going to only spend 90 days in jail, but he had to give up a lot of his fortune. Now, a lot of people are speculating that they was going to leave him with $5 or $10 million, and they was going to keep the rest. And Perez was saying, "No, I want all my money, and we'll try." And hey, if they're making this type of deal, that's indicating to me. And I remember the lead attorney. Shout out to the lead attorney. He talked about this on Vlad TV. I suggest you guys go watch that video. And he pretty much talked about how Perez was thinking that the federal government didn't have a lot on him. And he was saying, well, if they're going to give me a deal like this, that's clearly telling me they don't have nothing on me. Let's just go ahead and fight this. All right. So he took it to court, and then come the mountain of evidence that they had on Perez. And they didn't really want Perez. If Perez, they really wanted Perez to tell. They really wanted Perez to tell on the person who they actually wanted, and they was willing to forego Perez to let him only serve 90 days, and he will still leave out with some money, not all of his money. And 90 days in federal prison. I mean, Perez is 50 years old. All right, so he probably got out at 51 or 52. He probably wouldn't have as much money as he once had, but a lot of that money wasn't, a lot of that money he didn't earn. And Perez, I hate saying this, but you ever, sometimes, back in the day, you know, the high school yearbook, they don't do this anymore. All right, because obviously we're living in a different society. But they used to put in the back of the yearbook of the people that the front of the book was the successful people, the people that they felt like they was going to be successful and do this and do that, the prettiest, the popular people. And then at the back of the book, uh, it was the least likely. And it would be a column of the least likely to succeed. And they'll have this person's picture in the back of the yearbook. Well, Perez was in the back of the yearbook. Obviously, Lauryn Hill and Wyclef was in the front of the yearbook, and Perez was in the back of the yearbook. Okay, because out of the out of those three from the Fugees, you know, after the Fugees, Wyclef ended up making more albums. He also produced a lot of music for a lot of artists out there. He got into politics some. He just living his best life. Lauryn Hill, she wasn't a solo artist on her own. She had her own catalog in music as well as the Refugees, and she could continue to fall back on that, even though she stumbled a little bit. Like 5 or 6 years ago, they were talking about how Lauryn Hill didn't want to do concerts and she was broke and things of that nature. But now she's starting to do concerts. And I think COVID, I feel like the COVID situation was a slap in the face to a lot of us out there that uh, you need to move accordingly, and and those resources where you got money, you're generating money, those resources are closed. So you just got to, roll your sleeves up and get out here and work. And that's what Lauryn Hill has been doing. And she's making her money in concerts and there's a her older work is now more popular than ever. So, you got Wyclef and Lauryn Hill, they're doing their thing because they had their own individual projects before the Fugees and after the Fugees. All right. And when you look at Praz, the only thing it started and ended with Ghetto Superstar. That was it. You can't live off of Ghetto Superstar. You just can't live off of one song. And all he could fall back on was the Fugees work. Well, the problem with that is uh it takes Wyclef and Lauryn Hill to you have to have those two if you want to start a Fuji world tour. Now, they're basically saying they put the Fuji tour on ice because of the Perez situation. And if Perez would have gotten out of jail in 90 days, they would at least paused it for 90 days. Now there's word out there that he's probably going to do 20 years. All right. And if he's going to do 20 years, I don't think the Fugees are going to pause to do a tour for 20 years because they're popular and hotter than ever. So if it means to go on tour with Wyclef and Lauryn Hill and no Praz, then that's fine. Perez, then no, that's fine. He only rapped in. It wasn't like he only rapped in a lot of their songs. So I can see them still going on tour with Wyclef and Lauryn Hill, and he's probably going to just sit in jail. Now, the reports say that he's probably going to do 20 years. If he does 20 years, I mean, he's 50 now. So if he does 20 years, if you do the quick math, he's probably not going to come out of jail until he's like 71. Okay. Is Lauryn Hill and Wyclef Jean still be able to do another Fuji tour at 70? Possibly. Okay. Is it going to be their best tour? Probably not. All right. Are they going to be extremely popular like the Beatles? Probably, depending on this tour and depending if they come out with some new music, maybe a bio on their life and times as the Fugees, you never know. 20 years is a long time to bolster your catalog and to bolster your popularity. All right. So yeah, that's it on that story as well. Um, like I said, the older stories that I was going to talk about today, we're gonna do a recap on that. The Chris Brown Usher thing, that was blown out of proportion too, and you can blame fake media or social media, whoever you want to blame, because the first initial reports were Usher and Chris Brown got into a fight, which led Usher to have his nose bloody. It was a fight over Tiana Taylor, why Tiana Taylor didn't support uh Chris Brown when he wanted to you know honor Michael Jackson. And she didn't fully supported that because there was a lot people were bringing up Chris Brown's past, most notably Chris Brown and Rihanna. They once dated when they were young, and then they got into a domestic dispute, and that he ended up going to court over. He didn't serve a lot. He didn't serve no jail time on it, and now from that situation spawned other situations of other accusations. There was a lot of women that said allegedly, we have to use the alleged words, that Chris Brown assaulted them, and all types of sexual misconduct. A lot of those cases ended up being thrown out of court because not enough evidence, or the women didn't show up, or just total fabrication. However, y'all want to make it so. All right, and now he's trying to honor Michael Jackson, which, by the way, Michael Jackson was, even though he was an icon in music, there was reports out there that Michael Jackson likes to hang around children, and then people started putting mustard on a lot of those stories. I don't know if it's true or not, but allegedly having affairs with kids and things of that nature. The sleeping with kid comment didn't go very well for Michael Jackson, and Neverland Ranch and things of that nature. A lot of stuff came from that. You would think that, and this is not coming from anybody from the Michael Jackson's family saying they didn't want Chris Brown to do it. It's just when it was found out that Chris Brown was going to honor Michael Jackson, that's when all this old stuff come popping up about his run-ins with the law and run-ins with different women and things of that nature. And Chris Brown needed support. He needed support from a lot of people. Now, there was some women out there that was supporting Chris Brown. But Tiana Taylor was not one of those individuals. And they said Tiana Taylor and Chris Brown were like that. I'm crossing my fingers. You can't see that visually. They were friends. And, you don't really know who really has your back or who really have your corner until some real ish pops up. Then you can identify your real friends and your fake friends, because your real friends will stand and support you no matter what. Now, and I think now I don't know the whole issue because a lot of their private conversation is private. I don't know what done transpired in the last couple of weeks where Tiana Taylor, I'm pretty sure they talked behind closed doors. And Chris Brown, when you're dealing with an individual like that, they have erratic behavior. They can be up, they can be down, and sometimes when you are trying to explain something or talk to them, uh, you don't know. It's like throwing a hand grenade out there. You don't know what's going to happen. He's going to be explosive one way or the other. All right. So, maybe he said something that she didn't like, or maybe she said something that he didn't like, and they just left it at that. And and Tiana Taylor isn't the most neutral person. Now she can be explosive as well. And Tiana Taylor and Chris Brown are like alphas. And it's hard for two alphas, or they believe that they're alphas. Let's just say they believe that they're alphas. All right. And it's kind of hard for two alphas to agree on anything. And obviously this carried on into the Usher, when Usher had a party for Chris Brown. This carried on to that point where Usher had to get in between the two and try to keep them from continuing to argue. And it led into where Chris Brown just left the party because Tiana Taylor was not having it. If you look at the video, Tiana Taylor didn't even look his way, so it is what it is. And they Tiana Taylor unfollowed Chris Brown, and that's fine. You're right to do that. You can do whatever you want to do. You can follow who you want to follow. You can not follow who you don't want to follow. It's all good. But I think Chris Brown took those two incidents very seriously, and I think his ego got bruised, and I think he believed that he were was more than friends. I'm not saying that they were going to fool around or anything, but Chris Brown really invested a lot in Tiana Taylor, not financially, of course, but invested his time with her and thought that that was a real true friend. Come to find out she's not a real true friend. And Tiana Taylor is going through her phase, talking about how Pharrell didn't support her. I mean, didn't protect her in the music industry. I'm pretty, and she's talking about how the music industry just spit her up and chewed her out. Tiana Taylor, I'm gonna be honest with you, the music industry is ruthless, it's cutthroat. Um, and if you think they did that to you, just imagine someone who doesn't have the same clout as you. There are a lot of young women and men out there that start in the music industry, think they're going to have a music career, and the music industry they're just cutthroat. Okay. I've heard stories where in the music industry that they stole music from up and coming artists and gave that music to their popular artists. Okay. So no one's crying for them. No one's crying to a lot of these artists are signing 360 deals, and they're selling their masters, their rights, their likenesses to make money. I mean, nobody's crying for those individuals as well. So Tiana Taylor is just the nature of the beast, particularly in the music industry. Okay. I'll be honest with you guys. With the last Tiana Taylor album, which was produced by Kanye West, I thought Kanye West did a great job with that album. There was a lot of songs on that album, but that album was not promoted very well, not only by Kanye West, but Tiana Taylor. I understand that there was a dispute between Tiana Taylor and Kanye West. Kanye West wanted to wait until they got a release on all the samples that they used, but Tiana Taylor did not want to wait. And that's just a part of knowledge, what you know about the music industry. And at that point in time, Tiana Taylor was a dancer, she's a model. She didn't have a lot of music experience, the business side of music, particularly with the samples. and Kanye West wanted to wait till he got the samples cleared, but Tiana Taylor didn't want to wait. She wanted her and put out this project, and that led to them a lot of those samples they couldn't no longer use because they were not cleared. And also led him chopping that album up. Now I think that was the Kanye West side of things, because he produced Nas album, as well as, and I keep forgetting the rapper. Oh my God, I'm gonna think about him. He'll come to my head in a few minutes. He didn't come to my head last show when we talked about this, and he probably not gonna come to my head to this show. And Tiana Taylor, Kanye West produced it 3 albums back to back to back, and um, Kanye West, edit them very, very short. And when you think that you're a genius, it's hard. Sometimes the ego side of you thinking that you're a genius, sometimes get in your way when it comes to when you're creating things, when you're creating content. And I thought the ego side of him thinking that he was a genius, thinking that, man, this would be genius if I just cut these songs very, very short. I thought that worked on Tiana Taylor's album. I just didn't think that worked with Nas's album. I think, well, an established artist like Nas, you want to hear the different variations of Nas's lyrics, okay? And as well as oh shoot. Oh my God, I keep forgetting this guy's name. Anyway, he had some great rhymes as well. I'm pretty sure people are gonna say in the comment section his name. I forgot his name. I'm so sorry. So sorry. He did a diss record to Drake. But anywho, I think sometimes the ego gets in the way of creation. Not all content is created equally, basically. So yeah, so falling back into the Chris Brown thing, uh, I think Chris Brown had a falling out with Tiana Taylor, and that just goes to show your real friends and your Hollywood friends. And he now knows that his Hollywood friends just left him out there cold. Okay. So maybe, he had too much faith in Tiana Taylor. Maybe Tiana Taylor, the only reason why she was a friend to Chris Brown in the first place is the opportunities Chris Brown can put her in as far as music goes. Now, she did come. Now, I like Tiana Taylor's work. I like Tiana Taylor personally. She's in a movie that's on Amazon, 1,000 Cuts or something. I forgot the name of the movie. It's a drama. It sounds like it looks like this is going to explore into Tiana Taylor's actress skills, how good she is in dramas, because dramas, you just can't just put anybody in a drama. You have to be highly skillful and highly talented to pull off a drama. So I'm gonna go see the movie. It's on Amazon. I can just go check out the movie and see how it went for Tiana Taylor. But this will demonstrate her actress skills. She's a hellified dancer, a model, beautiful woman. I think she's got a good niche with the modeling skills, because when you look at her, she's got that frown on her face. And I think not a lot of women can pull off being beautiful, being attractive with the frown or the mean expression. Not a lot of women can pull that off. I've seen a lot of beautiful women when they try to pull off that mean or that frown or that business look, it just doesn't resonate through the photos or the video. But with Tiana Taylor, she pulls that off very, very good. And I think modeling wise, she stands out better because she's doing something different than the other models. Okay. So I when she does those photos and videos, it's from an artistic viewpoint. It's not the fact that she was mad that day and they told her to let's do some photos. I think that's her A look. All right. Now she looks beautiful, smiling and things of that nature, but she stands out more when she does that. Okay. So yeah, shout out to Tiana Taylor, shout out to Usher. The Lovers and Friends tour or concert still went on as planned. And Chris Brown, shout out to Chris Brown. He performed on the Friends, Lovers and Friends concert. So it just seems like it's all good over there. I think overall people overblown and overextended that situation, but it is what it is. Yeah, that's how Hollywood works. Okay, so got that on out of the way. Hold on one second. Yeah, got that on out of the way. So far so good. We're an hour and 20 minutes in. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm trying my due diligence to push this into 2 hours. Unfortunately, we may have to call it a draw. Okay. But before we get up out of here, or in the process of getting out of here, a lot of people, let's talk about recent comments. People want me to get to the point with a lot of stories. And I tried, I really do try to not go off the rails sometimes, but some, I did implement a lot of things. What I was going to do, I was going to just tell you the story. Then after I tell you the story, give you my opinions on the story. And then I'm going to go off the rails and just go into other parallel journeys of this story and how this story or this person links to other people. And you know, I know a lot of people don't want me to do that, but there's a lot of people that wants me to do that. Like just earlier, the first story, the second story, when we talk about Eboni K. Williams and her situation with the bus driver comments. I talked about the story. I gave you guys my opinion about the story, and then I went off the rails. Now, sometimes as I was telling the story, I went off the rails, but I made sure to get back in rail. Okay. So some people prefer me to do that. A lot of people got, hit me up and said, look, just do you, man. We like it when you not only talk about the story and give us your viewpoint about the story, your opinion, but we also like the journey that you take us on. We like it when you go from the story to something that connects the story, then something else that connects to the first phase of the connection to that particular story, and then you gravitate back to the original concept. We kind of dig that. Okay. So I try to you can't please everybody. All right. Obviously, you're going to have people that are not going to be happy either way. What I try to do, I try to attempt to try to please everybody. And sometimes, it is beautiful when it works out the way you want it to work out, and other times it just doesn't work out the way it works out. So it is what it is. So but I have been working on that, and yesterday I polished it up. Last week I polished it up on Too Early for This podcast, and today I think we're making steps in the right direction. But it's a lot better than previous episodes. Okay, so it is what it is. Okay, by the way, please hit the subscription button, the notification bell. Make sure the notification is select to all. Okay, and share this content with your friends, family, and followers. We want to get this YouTube channel crack-a-lacking in the YouTube algorithm. All right. And the only way it's going to get crack-a-lacking in the YouTube algorithm if you guys support the live stream, if you support this channel, And by supporting this channel, you can do it several different ways. Hitting the like button, commenting in the comment section. Remember, the comment section is your guys' domain. I want you guys to get the comment section activated among yourselves. Tell me tell me what you didn't like, what you did like, share, swap recipes, secrets, whatever you got to do. Get that comment section lit. All right. Yeah, that's that. As far as this YouTube channel goes, and you guys also are aware that I moved too early for this podcast from Monday mornings to Saturday mornings, because I felt like it works better with my work schedule. You guys, if you've been following this journey, following this grind, I got a new scheduling change, and that new scheduling change made life kind of difficult to do live streams, particularly for this channel. And I wanted to have a time slot where it can work. All right. So I felt like Saturday mornings would be very beneficial for Too Early for This podcast. It's the first podcast, particularly on YouTube, that has a live stream early Saturday mornings around 4 to 5 a.m. And I'm really proud of that. But I know a lot of you people are going to watch the when the live is done. I know a lot of you guys are going to watch it at a later date, and that's fine as well. So just support the channel however you can support the channel. If you want to support it further, you can hit the join button. Remember, membership has its privileges. I'm trying to get 10 people to hit the join button. I will do exclusive content for those 10 people. So, all right, if you're able to hit the join membership button. Also, if you want to support me financially, my Cash App is the $ I'm Christadon1. I really do appreciate the people that hit my Cash App. So I really do appreciate that. All right. So we got that out of the way about this channel. Also, look at my description. I have other channels, by the way. I have Just My Opinion podcast. That's exclusively sports topics. All right. Because I took the sports out of I'm Christadon1, and then I applied it to its own channel, Just My Opinion podcast. So if you like sports and sports entertainment, just go there. By the way, Just My Opinion podcast live. I'm gonna crank in more live streams for that. So be on the lookout for that. Also, support me on I'm Christadon1 TV. It was known as I'm Christadon Gaming. I don't change the name to I'm Christadon1 TV. I'm doing longer content on that channel. I had 2 videos uploaded this week in the past 5 days. So go check out those 2 videos. Like I said, the links are in the description below. If you want to support my audio podcast, I'm Christadon1 podcast. It's on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast indulgement from. But feel free to subscribe to me on Spotify. I'm trying to get my Spotify followers up. So I'll be able to monetize those podcasts. I really do appreciate. I upload 2 episodes a day, and go check out those episodes at your leisure. But really subscribe to me on Spotify, and then once you subscribe to me on Spotify, you can listen to my podcast on whatever platform you want to listen it on, iTunes, Google Play. I don't care. All right, just be sure to subscribe to me on Spotify, and then subscribe to me again on whatever podcast you like to listen to your podcast. That's the audio version of those podcasts as well. If you want to get at me on Twitter, is I'm Chris Down. The link is in the description. Twitter page. Yes, I know I'm not real active on Twitter, but I'm gonna try to be active on Twitter, not only to promote whatever goes down, when it comes to my content, but just to let you guys know what's going on in the world. I'm gonna retweet a lot of stuff. I'm gonna tweet a lot of stuff. So I'm gonna get back active on my Twitter page. I'm gonna at least try to do. I'm at least gonna try to tweet uh during the week. I don't tweet all the time, but during the week I'll just tweet some stuff that comes out, that I'm thinking about, or stuff that I see on the timeline. Okay, so I'll at least do that much. All right, I'll at least tweet out stuff that's in the timeline. I can at least do that. All right. As well as my other links down below. So be on the lookout for those. Subscribe to those links. Subscribe and enjoy. You will not be disappointed. Wanted to get that on out of the way. All right. And yeah, so that's all the topics for today's show. I'm trying to maintain this 2-hour stream. So that's all the time. I mean, this was overall a slow news day for entertainment. Now, it was a busy day for sports entertainment, but not, because you got the NBA playoffs, you got you got baseball season, you got you had the NHL playoffs. Okay, so it's pretty busy sports wise. You got NFL starting camp pretty soon. Now you're starting to see more and more topics about the NFL. So and then you had the USFL and the XFL. Which, by the way, you could have watched. I think the XFL is over with. The XFL was ran by The Rock and his ex-wife, and they got exclusive broadcasting rights for it to be on ESPN as well as Hulu. I checked out a lot of their games. It was interesting games. Okay, if you are a football purist, there was some decent games on the XFL, and the XFL was was playing on the time frame of the NBA and the NHL and all that stuff. I think the XFL started a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to continue to watch the XFL as well. I'll be honest with you. Between the XFL and the USFL, I just don't see a lot of. I just don't see the USFL getting any type of pub, particularly on these spaces. So I wish it stays, because there's a lot of gifted athletes that are borderline talented, but they don't get the opportunity or the recognition to take it to the next level, which is the NFL. Everybody wants to make it to the NFL, okay? And everyone has dreams and aspirations of playing in the NFL. Unfortunately, the NFL don't have a lot of spots, so they pretty much get the best of the best, okay? But people that are borderline talented, they have to go somewhere, and they used to go overseas. Now you got these two leagues, the XFL and the USFL, and a lot of these guys can continue their dreams and aspirations of becoming an NFL. Some of these guys know darn well they're never going to reach the pinnacle of the NFL, but just having a career in football, uh, I think that's very, very good. Okay, so shout out to those guys. I bought some coasters. These little well, they're not coasters. They're like dividers. And I'm looking at them. I bought them last week and I put them in my car. And I thought I was putting them in the car the wrong way, because every time I try to fit them in the seat, they just move everywhere. But they serve its purpose, you know. These dividers for my car food don't get down in between my seats. Okay, so it's serving that purpose. Okay, so yeah, so anyway, so far so good. I like these dividers, but it just seems like they're in the way. They don't necessarily stay in between the seats. Okay, it's amazing how when you're promoting a product and you do a video on it and you look at the product in the video, you go, oh, that works perfectly. Okay. But then when you buy the product and you try to utilize the product, it doesn't work the way it works on in that video. Okay. And that's product placement. That's a product video. Hey, it is what it is. Okay. So, yeah, so that's all I got for today. Hold on one second. All right. So let me read some of these comments uh from Ryan. I really do appreciate Ryan coming in. Uh she was asking me a lot of questions. I answered most of her questions. I didn't answer all of her questions. I really do appreciate you coming in. I haven't, and like I said in the live stream, I haven't seen you in a min, and I think that's due to the fact that um, I was moving this live stream around, trying to find the perfect time and the perfect opportunity. And eventually, I wanted to do it on Mondays, Monday morning, because I felt like there was a void there, particularly on YouTube, because a lot of content creators don't generate content early Monday morning. I thought I had an opening. So it went good, but unfortunately, my schedule changed and it was kind of hard to do it that way. So then I started changing it around like on Tuesday mornings and, Wednesday. And then I said to myself, what about Saturday? Saturdays I'm off. I can do it Saturday morning. So let's just try to do it on Saturdays. And ever since then, it's been on Flago. All right. It works perfect with my schedule. All right. So that's the essence of why Too Early for This podcast is on Saturday mornings. All right. And Ryan came and said, "Look, I ain't, Ryan said, yo, it's been a minute." And I say it's been a minute. I haven't seen you in a minute, and I think it's because of me constantly moving the live stream around. So we'll just uh, do this content. I mean, we're just gonna read some of the comments Ryan said. I should say, okay, so basically this comment, this was in the response of Ebony K. Williams. When we talk about Ebony K. Williams, we talked about relationships, and we talked about how men and women, we all have these standards, and we all have these categories. We have this mental checklist, and some people get blinded from their checklist. Some people, I remember Chili did a reality show, Chili from TLC, and she talked about how men had to fall in line with this checklist, and if they didn't fall in line through the whole checklist, then she said that's not the one for her. And having a checklist, well, with on Chili, it could be a blessing and a curse at the same time, because yeah, if that certain someone didn't fit that criteria, none of the criteria, then you can you can eliminate somebody that probably is not going to be good for you. However, you're also eliminating somebody that could be good for you. So you have to be mindful of your checklist. Your checklist should be used as a guide. It should be the numero uno thing. And, we're all not perfect. Everybody's not going to fit all the check marks. Okay. So you need to look at the ones that they do check out on and say to yourself, is that important enough for me to utilize this data as far as is this person right for me? Okay, what if this person is a likable person, attractive, a hard worker, and you have emotions for them, but they're probably not the best provider financially? Is finances a big deal for you? And like I said, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And I'm not trying to say if a woman says finances are numero uno on her list, more so than falling in love, that's a wrong thing to believe in. Everyone has their standards and everyone has their checklist, and everyone has in their mind what's important, what's not important, what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. And there are some women out there that look at it like, I'd rather be with someone that can take care of me, that I have to grow into liking and grow into respecting, versus someone that I respect, that I like, that I already fell in love with, but their finances are not the best finances. All right. So I'm not sitting up here saying which one is right or wrong. It really depends on the person that has these checklists. And it's not just women, it's men too. Men, we are visuals, okay? Well, like if you're walking down a sidewalk and you see an attractive woman with a slim waistline and a big kadonkadonk and breasts and lovely flowing hair, and you look at her, you already saying to yourself, this could be the one. Without her saying anything, this could be the one. However, on that same sidewalk, if there's a woman who's a plus size, who doesn't have a slim waist, uh, and doesn't have what you say is visually appealing to you, you're gonna automatically assume that that woman is not the one, because of you're basing everything on a visual outlook. Okay. So men have their checklist just as much as women have their checklist. But what's important to a man and a woman? Most men really don't view a woman's finances as numero uno, because most men can take care of themselves. All right. So high on the list, being financially a provider, is not going to be high on the resume of checklist. It's on the checklist, but it's not going to be the top dog thing on their checklist. Obviously, if they take care of themselves, do they, or do they look good? So obviously that's going to be high on it. And then comes, well, am I in love with them? Do I have to grow into loving with them? Do I got to grow into respecting them? Same way as women do. So yeah, we was talking about the different checklists. And ultimately, you don't want to be in a situation like Chili, where either you fit everything on my checklist, or you are a hard pass to her. Like, she's not even going to give you the chance of day. You can fit all of her criteria on her checklist, but if you miss one of those criteria, then it's a hard pass for her. And like I said, checklists can be a gift and a curse to anybody. And they were for Chili at one point, until she had to come to the realization that there's no perfect people out there. There's no one perfect enough that's going to fit everything in that checklist box. So you have to say to yourself what's important, what's not important, basically. All right. So the next comment Ryan says is, I trust you because you're a man. I can't speak for men. I appreciate what you are saying. Okay. Did her question no? Her question didn't I thought her question got cut off. Okay, so um first and foremost, thank you. I really do appreciate that. Um, and there are moments in life where you have to be a woman to know certain things. And there are things in life where you have to be a man to know certain things, like women. I think women understand childbirth better than a man because they are, emotionally invested in it. They know how the process works with a woman's body. They're carrying this life, and they're actually carrying this life in their body. Okay, and their body is going through changes in childbirth. So that's why a lot of women are more attached to their children than men are. Okay, it is what it is. So women have a full understanding about childbirth and child giving. All right, so they have an emotional investment in it, and because like I said, they're carrying another life in them, and women know more about that than men. Okay, now we can get an understanding, somewhat of an understanding, but if you're we don't have the capabilities of give of birth. We just don't. All right. So women would be highly more experienced in that than men. Okay. And the same rules apply for men. They're, you know, um, men just on men understand giving life to something. All right. Particularly when it comes to making children. All right. The natural process is a man and a woman. Uh, and men have sperm, but the woman has the eggs. All right. And a woman can't produce sperm, and a man can't produce the eggs. All right. So therein lies naturally how you have to do it. Now, look, we you know technology and biology and medical stuff has you don't have to do it that way. Now with the advancements in medication, you don't have to necessarily do it that way. You can get a sperm donor, or you can just find, you can buy an egg, whatever, and put your sperm on it, whatever. You don't have to do it the natural way. But most men and most women prefer to do it the natural way. Okay. So there are some, as far as giving children, the ability to birth children and to give life, men and women, uh, being in those certain sectors, a man is more qualified than a woman as far as sperm and giving sperm. I mean, is more qualified that way than a woman. Than women are experienced as giving birth and having a life in their in their body. So that's why I say there are certain things that exclusively women know more than men, and there are some certain things that men exclusively know more than women. So that's spawned from the Ebony K. Williams comment. All right. So moving on to the next question. Do you think we don't know what we want? Okay. And I told her when she messaged this, I told her, man, that's a loaded question. Because there's really no right and wrong way to answer this question. Because this is a loaded question that can blow up in your face. Pause. That can blow up in your face. But if you don't tread lightly. Now, the reason why I say and this is spawned from the Ebony K. Williams situation. And it's not like she's trying to set me up, okay? She just asked me a question, all right? And my response when I saw this question was, this is a loaded question, because if either way, however I answer this, I'm going to be wrong, all right? And that's the perspective of the individual that's listening to my answer, okay? So do you think we don't know what we want? And I'm speculating here. I'm assuming what she's saying is, do you think we as women don't know what we want? And I told her, I say men and women at the start, at the beginning of finding our soulmate, and we're in the beginning stages of trying to establish a relationship. Men and women, when we're at that point, we really don't know what we want. We sort of gravitate through previous experiences that we had with other relationships that didn't go too well, or we gravitate to what our friends and their stories about previous relationships that didn't end too well, or they ended very well. Or sometimes we gravitate to knowledge, through books, through articles. And sometimes we, men and women, gravitate to what Hollywood tells us, because Hollywood has a fairy tale argument to how relationships start. All right. Hollywood always tries to glamorize, you know, anything, and relationships are one of them. All right. Hollywood, just, has this fairy tale idealism of how a relationship starts, how a relationship is formed, and why those two characters continue to be in that relationship. Okay. So a lot of us gravitate and get our information from different levels. All right. And then that determines us what type of person we ultimately want. All right. Uh, like I have never been in a conversation with a room full of women when they're talking about men. And I'm just assuming here. Okay. I'm just going to take the leap of faith. And I'm just going to assume, if a man was able to be in a room full of women and they're talking about men in general, I think the number one rule, I think the number one conversation piece is not that if they're in love with this guy, or they respect this guy, or they're trying to find someone that's compatible. Now, those are good talking points. All right. But I feel like, and particularly with women and I feel like these women in this room, they're gonna be in these categories. All right. They're gonna be women who just came out of a bad relationship, that always find themselves in a bad relationship. That's 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 one variation of a woman. Then the second variation of a woman that's just trying to find someone. Okay. That's going to be your next type of woman. And then your third type of woman is a woman that was in a relationship, and then all of a sudden the relationship ends, and she's finding a hard time to she's finding a hard time to get back into the dating scene, and finding a hard time to find that guy. All right. So I feel like those are going to be your three different types of women. And that same logic applies for men. All right. The one woman that's not going to be in that room is the woman that's already in an established, successful relationship. That she's in a relationship with someone that she respects, and he respects her, and is already in a great relationship. You're not going to see those women You're not going to hear from them women in those type of rooms. And if you do hear from those women, it's going to be few and far between. And from their perspective, you're not going to hear how they got to this point. You're only going to hear in volume of the women who are in different situations, and the ultimate outcome is they're no longer in a relationship or trying to look for a relationship. All right. So that's going to be the void. But I feel like the number one thing with all three of those different types of women is, can this man provide for me? Because they've been through the ins and outs of some form of a relationship or the beginning stages of a relationship. So they've been through the wars of, I love him, he loves me, and we started to build an emotional bond, and or we had an emotional bond. We have children. You're gonna, you know, I feel like those women are past the point of that. I mean, at this point, they don't care about the respect factor or the romance factor or the process in the beginning stages, the process of a relationship. They just want to be in a relationship with men that can provide for them, that can protect them. Okay. And if it means they have to be with a man that they don't love in the beginning, they will have to work on trying to love this person or trying to respect this person. Then if they rather be with a man that can provide for them, that can protect them. But the sacrifice is you may not love that man in the beginning, and you have to build on the loving part and build on the relationship part. I mean, the respect part. There, 9 times and not more women are going to choose that lane. All right. So those the women that I just categorized, they're gonna choose that lane. All right. Now, however, there's a flip side to that coin. And if you've been in a room, and I have been in these rooms where a room full of men and they're talking about women. Okay, here's the juicy stuff you women need to know and be well aware of. There are some women out there that probably already know this, and there's probably some women out there that don't know this. But when you're in a room full of men, and they're talking about women and dating in general, men don't look at striking out at a woman as a strike. They don't look at it as they did anything wrong. Guys look at dating like at bats at a baseball game. There's going to be some guys that's going to be batting well over 500. And there's going to be some guys that's going to be borderline 500. And then there's going to be some guys that are going to just struggle. Okay. Men look at dates as batting, like going up to bat. Some guys can knock it right out of the park with a home run. Some guys out there that can knock it far enough where they can not only get first base, but second base and possibly third base. But then there are some guys out there that they'll barely hit it and they can barely get the first base. Sometimes they get the first base. More times than not, they don't get the first base. So when men talk about women dating, they don't look at it as they don't look at it as, well, it's something about me. I need to change this. I may need to say that. I may need to get a checklist. She might have to fit all my checklists. Men accept failure, and they don't even view dating, like striking out on a woman, as failure. They just view it as, okay, I struck out. So what? I get another time at I it'd be my time back up to bat again. And that's how guys view dating. Guys don't view dating as uh they don't they don't view dating as, okay, I got to make sure this is the one. Okay? Guys view dating as, all right, I struck out with this girl, no big deal. I'll just do better next time up at bat. That's how guys view dating. Women view dating as, if they strike out, oh, well, maybe it's my bat swing. Maybe I need to go into film study, check out the different variations of pitching. Maybe it was, maybe because uh, I pitch better in the daytime versus hitting better in the daytime than hitting at night. Maybe it's the different days. Monday and Tuesday, I hit pretty. That bat was pretty solid to the ball. Okay, maybe it's the certain days. Okay, maybe I'm just not feeling it. Okay, is there something that I need to fix? Okay, is there something I need to consolidate? So women put a lot of emphasis on their previous relationships, and then they say, well, I don't want to be in the same situation with the next guy. Therefore, I'm going to have to adjust my checklist because of my previous experiences in a previous relationship. A guy, on the other hand, if they strike out with a woman, they look at it as, oh, it's no big deal. The next time I get up at bat, I'm just going to just swing a little bit harder. And that's it. Okay? Because guys in dating expect a different outcome. Or there's some guys that can check the temperature in the room and they know that, hey, they're not like those heavy hitters. They're not like those guys that can hit a home run out of the park. They're not like those guys that can hit it just enough to where not only they get first base, they get second base, and sometimes they get third. They're not like those guys. They're just the guys that can hit the ball and hopefully hit it far enough just to get to first base. And sometimes just getting to first base is just good enough for a guy. Maybe once they get to first base, they just stay on first base. But just the mere fact that they made contact is good enough for a guy. There are some. So what I'm basically saying is, guys know that there's levels to this. A guy on the outside looking in knows that he's not a high value man, or knows that he's not a man that's going to have options. Some guys are just fine with the fact that they're just that guy that can hit the ball far enough and hopefully they get on first base. But if they don't get on first base, no big deal. They'll get another time up at bat. It may be the next inning or the next couple of innings or maybe the next game. But they'll get another hit. They'll get another opportunity at bat. With women, they look at it, they look at it as, wow, this could be it. All right. And when it doesn't happen, then they go back into the lab and go, well, okay, what happened with what happened with this situation? You know, was the stars in line? I read this article about this. I read this article about that. You know, the checklist. I checked my checklist once, twice, three times a lady. It still did not work. So the mentality for men and women, particularly in dating, is just different. It's just different. How they view dating is different. Let's just put it that way. How men and women look at dating is different. Like men, uh, you know, I feel like men, when it comes to failures, they know it's okay. They know that they're going to get another opportunity and another chance at bat. With women, I don't think they are necessarily uh prepared for failure. They go in it like this is it, and they pull all their resources, their time, everything into this relationship. And when this relationship doesn't work out, then it's Armageddon. All right. So that's how I feel like men and women view dating. Now, and like she said, do you think we don't know what we want? I don't I go jumping back to that question. I don't think it's the fact that women don't know what they want. I don't think it's the fact that men don't know what they want. I do believe it's the fact that men and women view things a little bit differently. And a rejection, when a woman gets rejected by a man, then a woman starts over, thinking why it didn't work. And they go into all of these reasonings on why this didn't work. And but when a man gets rejected by a woman, most men, I mean, men will just look at it as, okay, well, I missed that opportunity at bat. It's no big deal. There's 7 innings. We're in the first inning. I know I got 5 or 6 more times to get up at bat. Some guys know, I mean, and that just goes to show some guys know. What I'm trying to say is some guys know uh that they have more options than other guys. So when you know that you got more options, you have more courage in your conviction to make, when you walk up to a woman, some guys are more confident because they know that, hey, if you don't hit it out of the park with this woman, ain't no big deal. There's a bunch of beautiful women in this club. Okay. And then there's other guys that walk up to a woman and go, okay, this is it. She's giving me eye contact. She's interacting with me. I got to make sure I hit it out the park with this one because I ain't gonna have no other options. There's no other women in this club that's even looking at me. All right. So it's just a realization of a relationship. That's pretty much it. All right. So yeah, that's it I want to say about that because I don't want to get myself in too much trouble. Okay. We are going off other standards. And I think that was the standard comment. Um she feels like women goes off other standards. And that's a possibility, but I really do feel like women I do feel like okay, I want to say this. I do feel like the struggle is real for women out there in dating. It, and women has well, a woman has to go through jump through a lot of hurdles just to date. All right, and the competition is steep. All right, particularly, and it depends on where you at in life. No matter if you're a young woman, you're a middle-aged woman, or you're an older woman, um, the competition is steep. Um, there's not a lot of high value men, and there are not a lot of you know average men, but there is a lot of men that have that are not high in value or doesn't fit all your boxes in your checklist. And then you have to say to yourself, okay, what boxes in this checklist does this guy uh do check that I think that are important? Okay, so you got to deal with that. Then you got to deal with the competition of other women. So dating for women is serious. Okay, it is sometimes to be complex. Okay, and sometimes there's a lot of women that there are. Let's just go ahead and face facts. I'm trying to dance around this, but sometimes there's a lot of women that's just going to have to deal with the leftovers, and then they got to pick a good man through these leftovers. So they want to find the best leftover. Okay, sometimes the the high value woman or the most attractive woman or the woman with options, they they're the first of the litter that get the best men. And once all the best men are picked through, then what you got left? You got a bunch of leftovers, a lot of rejection. So you have to go through all these leftovers and rejections and piece a good man together. Sometimes you have to piece together 3 or 4 good men to make a good man. I mean, 3 or 4 men to make a good man. Okay, so the struggle is real for a lot of women out there. So I I sympathize with a lot of women that are single and they're trying to find a good man. Okay, I know the struggle's real for you guys. Okay, and I'm gonna just go to this one right here. Hold up, because this one right here. Hold up. Can I do? Yeah, this one right here. She was asking for my Cash App, and it's the $. I'm Chris Down One. So we can just go ahead and go. And this one right here, she said, "I know you're not pondering. You're speaking truth." Look, and we're gonna end it right here. And guess what? We went over the 2 hour mark. Yay! Okay, I didn't even notice that. So, um, I don't want to say I'm a Kevin Samuels. Okay, I'm not saying I'm one of these red pill guys or these blue pill guys. I don't even believe in red pill and blue pill. What I do believe in is there are people there are some people in male or female. There are some people in life that have options. All right, and the more options you have, the more times than not, the more options you have, the more times you have the ability to find what you're looking for in a relationship. And then there are other people out there that don't have a lot of options. Okay. A lot of people out there, only got one good option and there's nothing else. And I'm talking about men and women. And then the final stage is men and women picking through the leftovers. So that's what ultimately dating is like. Um, Dating is like hunting in the jungle. The lion and the tiger, they're going to always get the best prey. Okay. I mean, they're going to get the best food because they're the predators. Okay. But, and then, and they kill uh, they kill their prey and they don't eat through all of it, and they leave the rest of it just out there in the jungle or out there in the desert. And then guess what? The other animals that don't consider themselves predators eat off of the carcass of that lion and what that lion and tiger, what they ended up killing. They didn't eat all of it, and they just leave the rest for everyone else in the jungle to eat. Now, they're not going to immediately walk up as the lion or the tiger is still eating. They're going to wait for that lion and tiger to be long and far away from that meal, and the rest of the animals in the jungle or in the desert is going to commence and eat on that prey. And that's what dating is. There's a lot of lions and tigers. There's a lot of predators out there, not, sexual predators, but there are a lot of alpha male and women that have their choice of who they want to date. And they pick the best of the best, and what's left over are the leftovers, the ones that alpha male or that alpha woman or that high value man or that high value woman didn't want. So that's, it's part of life. Okay. Well, that's all I got for today. Episode 40 is now in the bucket. Okay, I really do appreciate everyone that done came by. I really do appreciate the comments, the live comments. I would love for every week we, do that. Well, I do that where y'all comment live and I answered your questions. But some weeks are like that, some weeks are not like that. But I really do appreciate the people that rewatch this show. Feel free to hit the subscription button, the notification bell. Share this content with your friends, family, and followers. We got another episode already finished and loaded up. So I'm definitely going to cut some segments from this episode. I was supposed to do it last episode, but I'm going to cut some episodes, chop them up into some YouTube shorts or some YouTube videos. And y'all can listen to those episodes at your leisure instead of watching this whole presentation. Too early for this podcast. Episode 40 is in the books. I will see you guys next Saturday. Really, that decision really based on as long as there's nothing that's happening next week where I won't be able to do a too early for this podcast, but definitely I'm going to do a too early for this podcast next Saturday. I really do appreciate everyone coming by. It's your boy, the host with the most. I do not brag or boast, and I'm coming to you guys live from coast to coast. Also, check out these three content creators, these small time content creator channels. I'm a small channel myself. Okay, first and foremost, Just Me Nicole. She has an excellent beauty and vlog channel. I highly suggest you guys go over there, show her some love and appreciation, hit the subscription button, comment, let her know that your boy, I'm Chris the Don One, sent you over there. All right. Makeup University is another lady who subscribed to me in the early stages of my YouTube career, if you want to call this a YouTube career. She's still cranking out videos. She's makeup and beauty tutorial, and she also every once in a while she does vlogs here and there. All right, so go and live streams. She does a couple of live streams, not a lot, but a couple. Go check her out. Tell her I'm Chris Down One sent you there. She probably don't forgot about me. Okay, she probably gonna say who? And the dream. She does car content. She also does vlogs. Go check out her content. I thoroughly enjoy watching her content. And I told her yesterday I was binge watching a lot of her videos that I didn't get a chance to watch last month, and I'm caught up. I think I'm one or two videos short, but I always like watching the dream. Like I said, go over there, hit the subscription button, hit the like button, and comment and say, yo, I'm Chris the Don One sent me over here. The dream is doing it big over there with her car content. Also, I'm on Instagram. And it's my Instagram handle is Everybody Hates Chris. All right. And that's going to be my new YouTube comedy short channel. You want to subscribe to that, subscribe and enjoy, you would not be disappointed. But there's an artist, a country artist in Nashville. Her name is Grace. I forgot her last name. She made some great music. She had a music video a couple of months ago, and I saw her in live in effect in person, and she's a good gal. Always supports my Instagram videos, so I really do appreciate that. So I just wanted to let you guys know. I think her name is Carolyn Grace. anyway, go check her Instagram channel out. If you are a country music fan, she has some great, she has some great songs that's already in Apple Music or wherever you listen to your music streaming services. Wherever streaming music service you got, she's got it. She got a bunch of songs, a bunch of videos. Just let her know I'm Chris Down One sent you. All right. So I always want to show love to the people that show love to me. And I kind of want to do this for other channels out there. If you guys have a small YouTube channel or just a YouTube channel, a large YouTube channel, whatever, and you want me to check it out, just put it in the description below, your channel name, and I'll go to it and I'll see if something that I like, something that I will continue to watch, but I always will show you some love. Okay. And that's what the bottom line is. Show people some love. Because at the end of the day, we got to love each other, because guess what? Who else is going to love us? All right. So we got no choice but to love each other. All right. So love thy neighbor, love thy content creator, and I will see you guys back better than ever next Saturday for another rendition of Too Early for This podcast. It's your host and moderator. I'm Chris Down One. It's your host with the most. I do not brag or boast. And I'm coming to you guys live from coast to coast. I will see you guys next Saturday. See ya. And I'm up out of here. Outro, folks. Out.